our 8th week actually, and we have an amazing man in the studio. I have amazing guests all the time, but he's just exceptional. I'm just so happy to have him here. But before I introduce him, I'd like to say a big thank you to my sponsors for, you know, supporting me, and also I'd like to say a big thank you to Omega Live TV for hosting Gold Diggers. Omega Live TV is the company that comes under Omega House Multimedia Company, and they are based on West Green Road, which is in Tottenham, N15, and you can go to them for all your multimedia needs. They do a lot. They do printing, booklets, bookmarks, everything, cover events, you know, all your events, christenings, funerals, all kinds of events. So yes, I said we have an amazing person in the studio. His name is Rhymesonny. He's a Ghanaian poet from Ghana. He's with us live from, well, not live from Ghana, you're right here in the studio, you know, and he's been here promoting his new album, The Goats.
The Goats, yes, greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time.
I am the Goats.
Thank you, Sonny. So you're here in London. You know, how's it been? I mean, how's the whole experience going?
It's been amazing. This is my 3rd time performing, like coming to London to promote something that I've been doing. And this particular year and this season has been the best of all. I've been performing on all the biggest spoken word platforms in London, and also doing some radio and TV interviews as well. The album is going well. People are asking. It's supposed to be live on. It's supposed to be on all the digital stores.
Yes.
And is delayed a bit. But then, the hard copies are all gone, and people are asking for more. Yes.
So you're sold out. Currently sold out.
Yes, that's it. Because the content is good. The album, for example, I took 4 years to put this album together.
Okay.
I used 4 years and 10 sound engineers.
Okay.
And these are works that goes from the theme of religion, politics, inspiration, social issues, love, everything, and they are all laid on the asphalt of great music. Okay. Spoken word goes well with music, and so the music also spans from different genres, from jazz to high life to trap music to classical music and everything. Okay. And so 22 tracks on that album, amazing works. It's the biggest album one can ever have in terms of spoken word, in terms of the number of content, and in terms of number of minutes, and also the messages.
Yes.
I'm so proud of it.
I can imagine.
Yes.
If you've joined us, please follow us. We're also on YouTube. So subscribe to our YouTube page, which is Omega Live TV. And also we're here live on Facebook, so you can get all the updates of all our shows that run throughout the week. So as I said, we're here with Rhymesonny. He's just told us about his new album, which is out now. So Google him, you know, go check him out. He'll let you know about all his social media handles at the end of the show. So Sonny, people would say, like, why poetry? When did you realize you had this gift of poetry?
Back in high school in Opokwari, I started off as a songwriter. I used to write.
Where is Opokwari? Because not everyone would know.
Okay, great. So Opokwari is the best school in Ghana, the best high school. OWAS for short, and we are Katechies, and OWAS are the best unique numbering system that everybody. Is the most unique school in Ghana.
In Kumasi.
In Ghana.
In Ghana?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm on a proud of Katechie. Anybody watching us, salute. So back in Opokwari, I used to write songs for my friends to go entertainment and rap and all of that. And I never saw myself as a musician, so I was looking for avenues that I can still be able to write and also express myself. And when I came to uni, I've written a whole lot of songs. I gave it to people, gospel musicians, high life, hip hop musicians. They were all singing my songs. And I found out there was a competition that went on that said poetry competition for Valentine's Day. And I told myself this is it.
You're going to go and perform?
Yes, I did. I wrote a piece.
Okay.
I won the competition, over 1,000 entries, and then I decided to stick to poetry. I started educating myself about poetry, what it actually entails, before I took it as a career.
Okay.
So I've been actively performing, being a performance poet for more than 10, I celebrated 10th year last year, and so yes.
So obviously you didn't, you didn't start off doing this full time. You've progressed. It's been a number of years. But at what stage in your life did you say, okay, I'm gonna start working and I'm gonna just do this thing?
Okay,
this is
so
what I'm called to do.
the impact was getting overwhelmed. I was so consumed with the impact that I was getting, and also the messages that people will look. You inspired me, you motivate me, you entertain me, you educate me, a whole lot of that. And I decided to, okay, let me concentrate on this and see because when I look at around, we didn't have too many role models in poetry.
Yes.
There was a gap between the older folks and the new generation. So if you look at the scene right now, most of the poets who are active are above 60s and below 30s.
So there's a
like a 30-year gap.
Wow.
Yes. So you won't find poets who are in that bracket, that 40s, 50s. You hardly come across people who are doing.
And are you
actively.
in between the older generation and the younger generation?
Yes. So the younger generation, we needed to have role models.
Yes.
And I decided to put myself down and work hard at it to become one of these role models. And so myself and my colleagues, we formed groups, we created events, we created platforms, we've done workshops to educate ourselves and educate people to be able to take this as a career.
Yes.
So we have a few
Yes,
poets.
that's what I was going to ask you about, the platforms that the organizations, I would say, that you're a part of and that you've created. So we have the Poetry Exchange. So let's talk about that first.
Okay, so the Poetry Exchange comes as a result of me going back to Nigeria and performing in other countries. And I realized that there's a need for us to exchange and also create one market as Africans. Just being a poet in Ghana will not fetch you much. So, but if you're a poet in Africa, can. So myself and Efe Paul Azino, he's a director for the Lagos International Poetry Festival, we decided to create a poetry exchange where poets from Ghana will have opportunity to perform in Nigeria, poets in Nigeria will have opportunity to perform in Ghana, whilst having workshops and also touring Ghana. So it's a cultural exchange, more or less, aside the poetry that we do. And poets in South Africa can come into Ghana freely, and like that exchange. Even so we started off with 3 countries: Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, and we have the support of the UK, the Canadians, the American poets, and also we're also looking at the French-speaking countries, Senegal, Ivory Coast.
Wow, there's poets from all these countries.
Yes, so we want to bridge that gap and also make sure that there's one ecosystem, like economic market for poets in Africa, not just you being a poet in Ghana. Nobody knows you in Nigeria. So we decided to create the Poetry Exchange. So we've done the first leg, which we have poets from Nigeria coming into Ghana, doing workshops, touring other places, and also performing, having a concert. And also poets in Ghana going to Nigeria. So this is the Poetry Exchange. That's what actually it stands for, just making sure that we break the gap.
And bring the poets together from. And then you have the People of Equal Thoughts and Spirit.
So People of Equal Thoughts, if you look at there is an abbreviation of poets, People of Equal Thoughts and Spirit. Yes. So when I decided to help grow the poetry industry, I couldn't do it myself. We needed people like-minded who are doing the same thing that as I'm doing, who also have the same emotions, the same passion for it. So we decided to create a group, So people of equal thought, we use that to bring together as many poets as possible, identify as many poets as possible, and out of people of equal thought, almost every major poet came out from that group, because when we came together, we created platforms for ourselves. We did organize events, workshops, and one of these events became the flagship program for every poet in Ghana. Alewa Poetry.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. And the
so
Poetry
Alewa
March
is just an event that came out of people of equal thought. The Poetry March is a baby that I really birthed to really use it to promote poetry. Every World Poetry Day, 21st March.
21st of March is World Poetry Day.
So Poetry March, in March, we march from radio station to radio station to TV station to TV station to every opportunity that we have in the media to promote poetry. This is it.
In Ghana.
So sometimes we are able to do like 12 media houses, 15, 10.
Yeah, because I've seen you all over the place in Ghana.
And these radio stations all cuts across.
Yes.
So there's a Cree speaking stations. There's the English speaking. We do everything, and we make sure that poetry reaches the corner of the whole country. Wow. And so Poetry March is that.
That's what that. So it's like it's more of a movement, I'll say, than an organization. So do you feel that you've made a difference? Well, you have made a difference, but how do you feel you've made, a positive difference in Ghana through poetry? Poetry,
as I said, is a big tool that's the best alternative form of anything, entertainment, education, information dissemination. Through our poetry, we've been able to create a lot of awareness for different, for example, we've done advocacy works for different topics and different issues in Ghana using poetry. We contributed our quota using poetry as a mouthpiece to make sure that our views are heard through political poems, religious issues, social issues. We've helped advocate for HIV/AIDS, cervical cancer, autism, mental health, everything. We use poetry as a tool to do that. Some are using it as evangelism tool as well.
Yes.
So definitely we use it. We create it in terms of their customs poems, where we are giving topics to write on and share at conferences, and these poems people make references to them. So the impact of poetry back then, today, and it will always be as big as it should be.
Yes. Well, you're doing an amazing job. If you've just
I'm not only the only person who's been doing it,
I know,
but we're trying.
You're like the Pied Piper, Have you heard that story? It's a
yes, I do.
Yeah, you're like the Pied Piper of poetry, leading all the poets,
Yeah, but let me say that there are equally amazing people who are doing amazing works for poetry in Ghana. And yes, I will not want to take the whole light.
Well, we're gonna talk about other poets in Ghana and the older ones, the ones up and coming. So if you just joined us, we're here with Rhymesonny. He's a Ghanaian poet, and he's doing amazingly well in Ghana. He's spreading the word of poetry and making poetry something to be taken seriously. Because in Ghana people just dwell on entertainment, the movie industry and the music scene, and but poetry is getting there,
Yes.
And Sonny is doing
poetry is
an amazing job.
I always say that it's the bane of every creative work. If you want to do good music, you need to know your poetry. You want to write good scripts, you need to know your poetry.
Yeah.
Dance even takes inspiration from poetry. Poetry is more or less the most important part of all the creative arts. in the world. Yes.
You're very passionate about poetry. So yeah, we spoke about your album, and you've been in the industry for over 10 years. You know, so can you speak about, you know, some of your tracks and how you got the collective of 22 tracks together? Because you said it's taken you 4 years to bring this album together. So can you discuss about, you know, some of the tracks and the ones that mean a lot to you? Let's, you know, talk about.
Okay, so the title track is called Goat, and Goat actually is a track on the album, and it's more or less to inspire greatness.
Yes.
Yeah, everything one do needs, anybody needs inspiration, it needs motivation, and Goat simply does that. Goat was, first of all, I read about 505 great people in the world, from politics to inventors to athletes to and different genders, different fields, and these people, they inspire us, from Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Kwame Nkrumah, Oprah Winfrey, Kepler, Aristotle, Chinua Achebe, Yasantua. These are all people, and so reading about them, I decided to write something that can inspire myself and also everybody who listen to it. So Goat is one of the pieces. And Goat is not just a poem, but it's also a whole project. Yes, there's a fashion aspect of it, where people are putting their face at the old parts of Goat, inspiring themselves, inspiring great.
You have like a symbol on your.
On my Instagram page, people can just see, and you can inspire yourself. You are the greatest of all times.
Yes.
You can be the GOAT, G-O-A-T.
Amen.
So exhibit full expression of your creativity, originality, and moral integrity. Care for children and people with disability. Participate in communities and be involved in charity. Balance fun and relaxation with work and productivity. Be confident and maintain true sense of humility. Be great, be you, be the GOAT, be the greatest of all time. Just a little line from the
track.
GOAT. My CV of Sin was actually the first track I recorded of the album 4 years ago. And my CV of Sin has gone on to more or less convert people, where people have given their lives to Christ just by listening to the poem.
I heard it earlier on today.
Just by listening to the poem. Nerd, where I brought Jesus into our social media realms and recreated the story of Jesus. I've done The Son and Son, where I diffuse the argument of God and science. We've got True Friends, that everybody can relate, because everybody have got a friend, or everybody is a friend to somebody who calls themselves a friend. Yes. And this album has, I use tree, I use English to give myself an identity. So whatever poem that I do, there should be a little tree in it for people to know where I'm coming from. Because poetry is not English. Poetry is language.
It's a language, yes.
And so and also I've done a track called Made in Ghana. That is more or less everybody who listens to it should find their way to Ghana. Yes. And some of them, like I said, they are on the beat of high life, some are on the classical beat, some are on trap beat. Letter to the Church. Every churchgoer should listen to this poem. Yes, there's a lot, and I've just performed only four tracks on the album. So I've got a lot.
Still got,
and I'm writing, and I've also recorded here in UK. I've started recording my second album.
So you've been here for how long?
I'm here for a little below 2 months.
So how's it been going? Like, you know, can you tell us about some of the places you've performed?
Yes, I've performed at there was a show. I was a guest at the show at Gold Coast. It was on March. In March, I did erotic, which is experience real organic talking creativity. I did Jordans. Jordans is the biggest spoken word in UK, Rich Mix in Shoreditch.
Oh, Rich Mix.
Yes, I've done Flow Flow Waters in Hideaway, Streatham. I supported Sonny Bali at Rebel in the Afro Soul Rebel. I've done the Chocolate Poetry Club. I've done Transcendence. These are all great poetry spots that best of the best in the UK poetry scene go there to perform. And so performing with the best and the creme de la creme, it gives you a leverage. Also, you're able to compare yourself to you're doing well or not. Yes, and obviously the response have been great. From my one performance, I get more than 1,000
messages,
more invitations to the next and the next. Yes, and so in my next week, there's so many programs that I am on. Yes,
so where are you performing next?
I'm performing at Transcendence on the 11th of April, which is Thursday. It's at Trapeze Bar.
Oh, Trapeze Bar is in Shoreditch, I believe?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, Sonny, you're amazing. So, you talk about a lot of controversial things.
I don't know about that.
Yes, you do. Well, some would say, because you support a lot of different type of people. You support, you know, politics, the church, you know, social issues, current affairs. I mean, how do you deal with negativity? Have you had negative
feedbacks?
Not negative feedback, like people coming for you saying, "Oh, why are you saying this?" Or,
"Oh yes,
why
yes,
do you
yes,
say
yes,
things like that?" Because you know, in Ghana, people will say,
"Oh,
you know, not everybody is going to be so open to poetry, especially you're so outspoken. You say everything, you talk about everything."
So, for example, I was slated to perform on one of the biggest events. I will not mention it, and they asked me not to perform a particular poem because it was so political that, and they were going to have politicians coming and they were not going to feel comfortable, so I shouldn't perform it. And I said, I'm going to perform it.
You did?
So at the end, I have to sign a bond that I'm not going to perform it.
Wow.
Yes. So, and I let it slide. But other events, I do what I'm supposed to do. I perform poems. And the difficult thing for a poet, for a poet like me, is that it got so much content.
Yes.
I've got 22 tracks out. I've got more than 15 tracks that I have not even recorded. I'm writing every day.
Yes.
So choosing the right poem for the right occasion is one of the most difficult works that the poet can find themselves. And so there are poems that are also not rated 18. They are rated 21, not even 18.
Yeah, because even for me, and I'm not necessarily how old.
Some of my poems are rated 21, not even 18.
Some should be rated 50 because they're quite deep.
Yes. Yeah. So, and we write for different market, different set of people. Yes, because if you want to, you need to create your market niche, your niche market, and write to their needs. So we write about everything.
Yes.
Including sex, love, religion, everything. I don't box myself at all.
Wow. So you have a team now, don't you? Or you're building
I'm building a team. I've worked a couple of years alone, and I believe that with a good team, we will triple the effort, and the brand will go even to places that people are not expecting it. Yes.
Okay. So in the studio with us is Rhymesonny. He's a Ghanaian poet, a creative entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because you're a businessman, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's doing amazing things in Ghana. He's, you know, bridging the gap, I'll say. Is that the right word to?
Let's say that.
Yeah, so we've just been in the studio with him, not for too long, so please share. You know, we're on YouTube as well, as I said before. Our YouTube page is Omega Live TV. Subscribe so you can get updates of Gold Diggers and other shows on Omega Live TV. And also hit that like button on Facebook. So, Sonny, you mentioned, you know, how there's a lot of poets in Ghana that I probably wouldn't know about, and the viewers watching don't know about. You know, you said a lot of them are older, and then, you know, some are younger, and you're right in the middle. Let's talk about some of the older poets that have influenced you as you were growing up.
So, may your souls rest in peace, Professor Atukwe Okai. He's one amazing performance poet who has won so many laurels across the world, and he's one person that has really inspired me.
Sorry, what's his name again?
Professor Atukwe Okai.
Okay.
He died recently. He died last year. And also Professor Kofi Anido, who still perform actively. These are professors. We also have Professor Kofi Awuno, who died at unfortunately in Kenya with Al Shabaab attack at the Kenyan Mall. Yes, they killed him. Yes. So these are wonderful. Dr. Maulia J, Dr. Martin Ebleobe. These are wonderful writers and poets that we look up to. Professor Ladewo Sunu. So you can see these are our professors. And now we are working with the younger generation. Myself, Nanasa says, Chief Moments, Blacks, 100%, Hashmola, Seben, Amaze. These are all wonderful poets that you should look at their works.
Wow.
Yes. Poetra Santua. Hey.
You're gonna have to write me. I'm just like, you have to write me a list afterwards, and I have to go and do some research.
Do research and
poetry.
Listen to their works. I've traveled, not much, but I've met so many poets from different countries, different continents, and I believe that the kind of talent that we have in Ghana is absolute, and these are really people who can take on every poet or every poetry event across the world.
Okay. So in terms of collaborations, have you collaborated with anyone, not just poets, but you know, other type of artists?
Yeah, there are a lot of artists that I've formed partnerships with.
Yeah.
For example, Ochame Kwame, he's somebody that I respect so much. He's a poet as well, and so we've done a lot of stuff together. Every program that of his, I am on. I support every program of mine. He supports. Same as Akwabua. Akwabua is one of the best songwriters Ghana has ever produced. He writes songs for Becca, for Sarkodie. These are people that we work with. On my album, unfortunately, I featured only one person on the album, which is he's called Mokin. He's a fantastic songwriter, and also. Was that
intentional, or?
Yes, I really wanted to put myself out there. I wanted to butcher a piece of my skin for people to enjoy. Yes, my second album also have its own concept on its own, where I am working with Mr. Autry, I'm working with Akwabua, I'm working with different musicians and different poets from across the world.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're a mentor to all these poets.
Yeah.
And you know, which is really important in life. But you know, I wanted to ask you, how important do you think mentorship is in general, not just in your industry, but in in life? How important is
mentorship? Is more like a ladder that one need to move from point A to point B. You don't need to really work through the shadows where people did to attain their height. These people are giving you the tools, the ideas, the advice for you to move from point A to B. So mentorship is greatly huge in terms of any artist. If you want to move on, there should be people that you look up to, where they fail and correct them, where they succeed and improve on them, so that you can become better. As a poet, I've not really worked under somebody where the person say do this, do that, but then I've been using myself and also helping other poets. So I mentored myself. I first of all, you evaluate yourself, your shortcomings, your your threats, the opportunities, your strength. You prove on your strength and work at your weaknesses, and then you are able to sharpen your senses to see the opportunities that abound and grab them. You need to do away with some habits, be disciplined, make new contacts, and use these contacts to influence your art, yourself, and also everybody who is doing poetry. And this is exactly that I've been doing in the past years. I've mentored so many poets, created platforms for them, and I believe that whatever you do, if your name will stand, it should not be just your name, but the environment that you are, your community, and whoever will be. If you want to influence people, you need to build communities.
Yeah.
And so me coming into it and also helping form the people of equal thought and identifying poets and creating platforms for them, the respect you have is more than somebody who is doing just himself, but you're doing for everybody. So I've been mentoring poets, and I also been mentoring myself.
Wow. So you're here in the UK.
I'm here in the UK.
You've spoken about, traveling to different countries in Africa.
Yeah.
So, what other countries are you planning to
Okay, so my
that you
this
haven't
year
been
is
to yet? Because I'm sure you have fans all over the world.
this year is a great year for me. I'm on the poetry tour.
Okay.
The Goats with the Goats album. UK is the first destination. From here, I'm looking at Nigeria, Abuja, Lagos. I'm looking at South Africa, Cape Town, Johannesburg. I'm looking at Kenya, Nairobi. I'm looking at Canada, Ontario.
Wow.
Yes.
Not the US?
I'm looking at the US as well. I haven't made contacts in the US yet,
okay.
but I'm working on that. As soon as it happens, I'll put it on my calendar. But these are the possible, which is concrete on my list, bucket list. So that's what I want to mention.
Wow.
So people in these areas should expect nothing but the best and best poetry from Ghana.
Okay, amazing. So, Sonny, sorry everyone, if you've just joined us or if you've been watching, we're in the studio with Rhymesonny. He's a poet, creative entrepreneur from Ghana doing amazing things, bridging the gap between the older generation and the young generation, between, society in general, different communities. He's just spreading the word of poetry, and he wants poetry to be taken seriously in Ghana, and he's doing an amazing job with his team. Collaborations. You're in London spreading the word. Like I said, you've been around Africa, and you're doing your thing. So one thing I always ask my guests when they come is, if they wasn't doing what they were doing, what would you be doing if it wasn't poetry?
I don't know. God always position you for something greater.
Yeah.
I don't regret pursuing poetry to this level, and so I don't know what would have happened, but as poets we are sharpened to do so many things. So we're not just poets, but we are more I will speak for myself, but yes, my background is marketing.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about your background.
I've taken time to work in the area of tourism. I've worked in the area of marketing, hospitality. I work in transport. I work in different fields, and these are all giving us experiences. Okay. And poetry gives you the leverage, because you need to read and get facts, and also fill yourself with knowledge before you can transmit them. So poetry has given me that leverage to be able to do everything. Every corner or every job that you if it's not technical, we're able to do it. So as creative entrepreneurs, we just don't perform. We write is work. You perform is work. We do advertorials. We do commission writings. There's so much we can do. Yes.
Yeah, amazing. So what can we expect from you?
Nothing but the best, and I'm also looking at getting to the top of the world with poetry from Ghana. Yes, Ghana is so much filled with talent. Our culture is something that we can write on. We have a solid culture. We have great stories. We have great inspiration, and so you can't be a Ghanaian artist and be limited. There's so many things that should inspire you to always thrive, and that is exactly what I'm doing. And so until we reach the end of the world, we're not giving up.
You're so calm and I'm so calm, so there's just like this calmness in the studio today, like a peace, like this kind of peace, you know.
Two egos. When you're in your mood to perform this, you have a way, and also your nature.
Yeah.
So it blends. Yes.
So yes, we've been in the studio with Rhymesonny, and for those that don't know him, I think it's time for him to give us a piece. So you understand, even if you're not a fan of poetry, or you've never taken time out to go to an event to listen to poetry. I did recently, and it was very, how can I say, it was therapeutic, and I was quite surprised because I've never thought I'd be interested in going to open mic sessions and listening to people, recite poems and stuff like that. But it's amazing.
Is there a favorite poem of mine that you...
It's a bit explicit there, but I like the one about friends.
Okay, so
yeah.
I will do that for you.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. Okay. So man, it's just like the wiper. We are meant to clean the windscreens of life for a greater journey. Man is fragile like the fiber, but with optics, we can connect the world in a way that is not even funny. Wiper plus fiber baby equals Wi-Fi. Now ask me why I ask why. You see, we are meant to network locally in a higher frequency with respect to protocol. We are meant to build relationships that can land at any port of call. They say no man is an island. A life without friends is like living on a desert land. Friends don't mind if you are wearing rags or using Louis Vuitton bags. Friends come in either as expensive as a prince's robe or as cheap as a beggar's bag. Friends don't display their price tags, so you have to be careful when you are picking one from the shelf. But to get the best of friends, you have to be the best version of yourself. So two friends should always be seen building true friendship. And true friendship, yes, refers to a tunnel, two ends. Each end is a true end that leads to the heart of true friends. But the trends today shows two types of friends. The one who will come and spend time at the end every weekend. The one who will pretend to end the quarrel with you on a weekday or pick it up on a weekend. You see, when you are weak and you need somebody to lean on. When you speak and people try to pick on. When you seek, there is nothing to find. The word that comes to mind is a true friend. See, true friends are not really hard to find, but we have become difficult to be refined. We find it difficult to leave our past behind. We forget that we are one of a kind. It's a true friend who can give us our peace of mind. And hey, my peace of mind is forgive yourself. Find time to unwind. Don't stress yourself. Find time to align. Friends come in as gold. Let's find time to mine. The Bible says an honest witness does not deceive, but a false witness pours out lies. Walk with the wise and become wise. A true friend will chop when you blow, but will also help you grow. See, a true friend is the one who walks in when the rest of the world walks out, not the one who believes in you whilst having a lot of doubts. See, when you're left alone on stage, a true friend will stand in the crowd and shout you out. And I'm not an expert, and hey, I don't expect my friends to be perfect. I only expect a little respect from my friends who think they are perfect. And a friend is that instant constant that one needs to move a distance. For instance, the person who is always there to help even when you're in a distance. I say the person who is always there to help even when you don't need an assistant. Adamphobia so thing, if you saw sombre. Adamphobia near Dinny so pebre. Adamphobia my Jonin Bocos Yatafre, Bodam Paba, so Premusun Esre, then the only best one we know a costero, the only best son you know a coach, Adamphobia, the offer beji, or Bobbetti, may far down for ginger, Adamphobia hand time, or do a buy for Betua sign, Sada for every time, if you don't need to sign, sign. And with my downfall, men didn't so with my dano, time for doffo, I'm an abbey downfall. There be
or tamfo bit my bay or dofo, also bit my or tamfo, the nimpo ye the to snip panye, the panya stra buffo. And so fashion with madam for power ye na, share what you want down for keke when you wanna. Friends don't wear your mistakes and parade them like a school attire. Friends don't sing your low points like a choir. Friends inspire, so it's my prayer that you find a friend like the Messiah. In the last one of that friendship never aspire. He said, "It drew dear, I don't forget me and it's all part down for pound that they may come from only a jano. He is that fire that brings out the shiny effect in raw gold on only a jano. So pull over, let him drive, and be rest assured that you will arrive. He's the beginning and the end. His friendship never ends. He's the only true friend. God loves you. God is the only true friend." Rhymesonny.
Wow. Let me give you a round of applause. That was amazing. Wow. So this is why I said you guys have to follow this man on social media. You have to get to understand and know who Rhymesonny is, because I am getting to know who this man is. So please tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
On social media, all platforms at Rhymesonny, RHYMESONNY, the codes, or just Google Rhymesonny and more details will come up.
Twitter, Instagram?
The same, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Rhymesonny, RHYMESONNY. Yes.
And if you want to book him, you come through me in the UK. I'm joking.
That's fine. Yeah.
But yes.
You're now part of the team.
Oh gosh. So yes, we've had Rhymesonny in the studio. It's been amazing. Thank you so much for coming to
Thanks for having me.
Enlighten our viewers about poetry. It's been amazing.
And I really I'm a fan of your show.
Oh, thank you. Well, you're an amazing example of a gold digger, because a gold digger is someone who's achieved their goals but still pursuing, still digging to achieve more goals, and that's exactly what you're doing. You know, in the industry of poetry.
I watch your show. You inspire us a lot.
Oh, thank you.
So continue the good work.
Oh, thank you. Now you're making me shy. So thank you everyone for watching. We've had Rhymesonny in the studio, but we have to go. So until next week. Actually, we're on a bit of a break, but I'll be back. I'll be back in May, and it's going to be amazing. There's some amazing guests coming in the next season of Gold Diggers. So thank you for watching. It's week 8 and it's time to have a break. I need a break. Thank you everyone for watching.